Good evening, everybody. Just getting taking a moment to wait for a few people and get this thing started. What's going on, Henry? Hope all is well. Hope you had a good day today. Just gonna go ahead and share this broadcast. All right. All right, good evening, everybody. Coming to you live this Monday evening, once again for another leadership conversation. It's good to be on. It's good for those that are logged in. Pastor Letitia, my sister-in-law, how are you? Good evening. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for tuning in, everybody. Henry, I hear you. I feel the same way, trying to adjust, bro. But it's good to be here today. Another Monday, another leadership conversation. I'm excited for this week. I'm excited because it's a new week. It's a new day. It's a good time to be alive. What's crazy is that we've hit a year of being in this pandemic, a year of being adjusting to this lifestyle of with COVID-19, and just to think, I was watching some videos from some events from last year pre what some people like to call 2019 BC, before COVID, right before COVID came and changed everything, and just looking at the fact that how things have changed so drastically, how it's we've normalized wearing masks. We've had to adjust our lives in such a intense way, and it's been a challenge, but it's been a good challenge. I would say a year later, being able to see the various things that have been in the works, the business ventures that I've seen, people that I know launch. So it's good. It's good. Even this leadership conversation is was birthed from making a decision after COVID-19. So I'm grateful for this opportunity. I appreciate everybody tuning in. Thank you for taking the time to join me. Want to continue our conversation from last week. I'm excited. We're talking more about vision building, building vision. Before I do that, I want to thank again everybody that's on, everybody that's coming on, everyone that's going to watch this after. I appreciate you taking the time to hear what I have to say. I'm hoping that these conversations are helpful. I'm hoping that I'm able to really have an impact and really add value to each and every person that's on there, that you're able to take something from it, because that's what it is in the end. All of it, all in the end, is all about coming together, working together to really help one another build our vision, help one another to get our ideas off the ground, and to help one another to succeed. We've been too conditioned by this capitalist society that we have to be quote unquote crabs in a barrel, where we're pulling each other down to climb up, but it doesn't necessarily have to be like that. Society was never created to be like that. Society was created to build, to have a group of individuals that had certain skills, and to use their skills to for the benefit of the greater good and the benefit of society. So I hope these conversations have been helpful. Thank you for tuning in. I'm excited because if you can see, I got my visionary hoodie on. I had to make sure that I had to put it on for this session of the series. We're talking about vision building. So many of you know I started my t-shirt line, my hoodie line, by my line to help people realize and recognize that you're a leader, that you have the skills and the capabilities necessary to be successful. And so these sweaters, these t-shirts, they serve as a reminder. It's a reminder to help you to remind yourself that, listen, I'm a visionary. I got my own vision. I have my own dream. We spent so much of our lives building other people's vision, building other people's jobs and other people's dreams. But sometimes you got to remind ourselves. We have to remind ourselves that we have the potential to be great. I was born to be great. One of my favorite people is, back in the day I used to watch wrestling, and my favorite wrestler was The Rock. And The Rock always was he was captivating because he always called himself the great one. He always referred to himself as the third person and called himself the great one. And so, believing in yourself, calling yourself what you are, even if you don't see who you are today, calling yourself who you're going to be in the future. And so sometimes you have to have a reminder on the days where you feel down, on the days where you feel like throwing in the towel, on the days when you feel like, man, this thing ain't working. You throw on your visionary hoodie, you throw on your change the game hoodie, and it really helps to motivate you. It really helps you to remember who you are. It helps you to it gives you that spark to remind you that, listen, I can do this. I am capable of. So I'm encouraging you to get your hoodie. Get your hoodie today. Springtime is coming up. You don't want to wear your heavy jacket. You throw on your hoodie. Or summertime is coming. You throw on your t-shirt. Make it do what it do. Help yourself to remember who you are. I spoke to my sister-in-law Letitia the other day, and she was telling me how she threw on her hoodie, and it really just helped her to remember that what she everything she's working towards, there's a purpose for it. And it's so funny that she shared that, because I had the same experience the other day. The other day I felt so down, I felt so discouraged. I felt like, man, this thing isn't working. Everything that I'm working to try to build, there's nothing coming from it. And eventually I decided to throw on my change the game hoodie. And instantly, once I threw that hoodie on, it really it motivated me to push myself to sit and write. And I just sat down and started. Got my cup of coffee. I sat down sat at the table, and I just started to write, because ultimately you're never always going to have high moments. You're never always going to have moments. It's not always going to be mountaintop experiences, right? There's going to be times where you feel down. There's going to be times where you feel discouraged. There's going to be times where you feel low. And in those low moments, you really need to remind yourself. And so, get your hoodie today. Order it today. I promise you, it'll help you. It helps you to remind yourself. It helps to remind those around you. Like, listen, don't mess with me because I'm a visionary. Don't mess with me because I'm a game changer. You know, people tend not to appreciate you as much. And sometimes you don't appreciate yourself as much. But remind yourself that you're a game changer. Remind yourself that you're a visionary, and do what you need to do to get your dreams off the ground. Do what you need to do to get your ideas going. It's in the times where you feel the lowest where you got to keep going. That's where the discipline comes in. That's where the drive comes in. That's where the motivation comes in. Too many people are wait just for a moment of inspiration to write that book. They wait only for that moment of inspiration to put out that video. They only wait for a moment of inspiration to do something that they really know they should be doing. But sometimes you just got to push yourself, even when you don't feel like it, even when you feel terrible, even when you feel like today is just not the day. You got to push yourself to do it. So feel free. Listen, I wouldn't advertise something that I don't wear, that I don't promote. So it's about helping each of us to remember who we are as visionaries and as game changers. So this is the year, man. This is the year. 2020 has changed a lot. COVID-19 has changed a lot, but now is the time for the birthing of the visionaries. So go get the hoodie, start working on your dreams, start working on your goals, and watch what happens when you do it. Watch what happens when you pursue it. So, like I said, I appreciate everyone being on here tonight. I wanted to continue our conversation about vision building. Many of us, we have ideas and we have goals and we have dreams, but what are we doing to make that dream a reality? So last week I talked about, excuse me, I talked about the what dreams, what our vision needs, right? The requirements or the components of vision. Last week I talked about how a vision has to have a purpose, the why we're doing this. What problem are you solving? See, any vision that you have has to be solving a problem. It has to be bringing some sort of solution. If money is your objective, when you get money, you would never be satisfied. So, what is the purpose? Then the second thing is it has to have a picture. What does it look like? Then it has to have values, right? What is the or your values or the principles? What is the standard of what you're building? What is the belief system of what you're believing? What are the boundaries that you're okay with crossing? What are the boundaries that you're not okay with crossing? You know, what are the colors? What it looks like? And then the last thing is that it has to have a goal. It has to have a plan, milestones that is going to help you accomplish those, help you get closer to the vision, help you get closer to the end goal. So those four things we talked about last week, and this week I wanted to continue our conversation, continue our discussion about building vision. Many people, we want magic. We want to just snap our fingers. We want to twinkle our nose and and wake up and our perfect life is already established. But those things don't happen. Magic is for parties. Magic is for entertainment. But if you really want to establish something that has root, that has sustenance, that has a foundation, you gotta build it. If you ever remember that movie Field of Dreams, right? The voice Kevin Costner kept hearing was, "If you build it, they will come." It took him having to build the baseball field for people to come, for the baseball players to come, even though they were dead. But if you build it, they will come. That's the thing that we have to do, and that's what vision building is all about. Building out your dream, not just having it be a dream and a fantasy, something that you're hoping for, something that you're hoping will happen, but actually putting pen to paper, actually putting brick to mortar, actually putting things together so that you can make it a reality. We're moving past just the hopeful stage, hoping that it'll come to life, hoping that it will be a reality. But now, actually, what are we doing to make it real? What are we doing? And so, one of the things I want to talk about today in continuing our conversation is let's talk about perspective, because perspective is important. How we view the world, how we view ourselves. Perspective is a huge game changer when you're trying to build vision, when you're trying to build out an idea. And for those of you on, my wife keeps telling me all the time, and so now I just remembered. Please like, share it for somebody, share it on your pages, on your social media pages. I'm currently live right now on Instagram and Facebook, so feel free to share it for someone that you know that's trying to build a vision, someone that you know has that business idea, someone you know that needs that encouragement to go forward in what they're trying to do and what they're trying to build. So go ahead, share it on your platform, share it so that other people can tune in. But perspective changes and shapes how we function. See, perspective is all about perception, how we view the world, how we view ourselves in it, how do we view our role in the world. And so perspective is something that we need to talk about when we're talking about building vision. Because if you don't have the right perspective, then you will not build it the way that it should be built. If you don't have the right perspective, you would not it would not reach its full potential. Until you have that right perspective, your dream, your goal, your idea would never fully become mature enough to be effective. And so perspective, it formulates and it shapes your vision. See, a clear vision, right? As I shared last week, a clear vision, it shapes, defines, and guides your decisions. It guides your action. It guides your opportunities. But if you don't have the right perspective, if you're not seeing clearly, right? If you're not, if the what you're seeing, your brain is misinterpreting, it will cause you to miss out on so many opportunities. It'll cause you to miss out or make bad decisions. So I wanna do something really quickly. Something that I like to do when I'm talking about vision. I want you to take a moment, and this is what we call the perfect date challenge. Because in order to have a good vision, in order to have good perspective, you have to visualize it. So take a moment. I'm gonna give you 30 seconds to think about it, to think about what your perfect date looks like. What does it smell like? What does it taste like? What does it sound like? Where are you living? Right? Where is your office? Where is what kind of car are you driving? So I want you to take another 20 seconds to think about it. And I want you to just type it in the chat. You don't have to type the whole thing, but just throw some ideas out. Are you living in a house or two family house or one family house? Where are you living? What is the colors that you see? Where are you vacationing? What kind of car are you driving? Go ahead and write it in the chat and let's talk about it. What does your perfect day look like? I know for me, a perfect day looks like in waking up in a huge king size bed, being able to have a nice view, whether it's of the ocean or of the mountains, something that when I open my windows, I see peace and serenity. So throw some of those your ideas out. Where are you working? I remember for a long time my when I was looking for jobs, one of the goals that or one of the my perfect day scenario was me working at a campus like Google, where it's huge campus, everyone with free food, working at a job that has free food, working in a job where I have flexibility with my hours, working in a job where I have autonomy to write down my ideas, to execute my ideas, complete control over my area. So when I was thinking about it, I was in when I was applying to jobs, I was envisioning Google, envisioning walking on Google's campus, riding a bike from one place to the next, being able to sit in a nap pod, being able to do all those things that you see on Google's campus. It doesn't have just write a little piece. It may be elaborate, but write a little piece. I shared last week mine, right? I shared last week. Yes, thank you, Henry. King size bed, massive house, being my own boss. That's what I'm talking about. Letitia says I'm in a craftsman's house. Five bedroom, 3,000 square feet, huge backyard. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. Listen, I just watched Coming to America the other day over the weekend. The first one and the second one. And watched Eddie Murphy wake up by the sound of an orchestra playing music to wake him up. Ashley, thank you. She says a nice home on my own, beautiful family, a job that you'll make good money. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, so I was watching. I watched Coming to America, the first and second one, over the weekend. And the first one, Eddie was waking up in this huge, massive king size bed, with the orchestra coming in, playing soft music to wake him up. The servant opening up the curtains. Has to be as it could be as elaborate. Prophetess Dahima, God bless you. Thank you for tuning in. I appreciate it. So yeah, it can be as elaborate as you want it to be. And see, that's the thing, when you have to create a clear vision, My man Sai, 5 bedroom home on the beach in Mexico. Listen, living the life, sipping a Mai Tai, sipping a Mai Tai, just kicking back, feet up, white sand, blue water. I hear you. But see, when you're thinking about your perfect day scenario, right? The things that you have to pay attention to is the details. The details, right? How you feel, what down to your thread count on your sheets. Sometimes you have to get so detailed so that you can craft a bigger picture. Thank you, Prophetess, for sharing. Uh, a bigger detail, down to the detail, so that you know what it looks like. It shapes the clear vision. It gives you a clear definition. So when you have this thing, now you know what you're working towards. It When you have that clear vision, that clear idea, right? Now that begins to shape your perspective. Because if you're trying to live in a 5 bedroom home on Mexico, then you're not looking for a 2 bedroom apartment in Brooklyn, right? Your perspective changes because of what you're envisioning. And so perspective shapes your perception and it shapes your reality. And a lot of people are not successful. They're not able to truly go after or be accomplish their dreams because they haven't taken the time to really visualize and envision what their goals are. They haven't taken the time to reshape their perspective. So you feel like, oh, because I'm from the hood, I'm always gonna be in the hood. Now, I'm a movie buff, so if you hear a bunch of movie references, just don't pay me any mind. But Five Heartbeats, Eddie King, his dad said, you ain't nothing, you ain't never gonna be nothing because I ain't nothing, right? This the Because of where he came from and because of what someone else was trying to put on him, it shaped his perspective of who he was going to become. And so when you have a vision of where you want to go, what you want to accomplish, then your perspective will match it. So when you are seeing yourself living on an island with your money on your face, with your looking like Mr. Monopoly like myself, listen, because I have that vision, because that has been one of my dreams. Listen, I'm not gonna listen to anybody who says that I can't get the apartment that I want to get or the house that I want to get, or I would never move out of the Bronx, right? I wouldn't allow anybody to make me believe that because I have a vision. My perspective is this is going to be where I'm going to end up. This is my reality. See, our vision and our perspective shapes our reality. And we too many of us get caught up in the reality of somebody else. We let someone else shape our perspective and someone else define our reality. We let society define our reality. We let where we come from define our reality. We let our families define our reality. We let our quote unquote friends define our reality. Because our friends don't approve, or because of those that we're around don't approve of what we want to become, now we're limited to their reality. We never really truly accomplish our dream and our goal because we're stuck in their perspective. And so it has to be a rewiring of our thought process. Listen, if you want to live your life and be a drug dealer for the rest of your life, that's on you. That's not my reality. That's not my perspective. My perspective and my goal and my dream is to start my own business. And so because of that, my perspective is going to push me to envision that as a reality. So we have to have a proper perspective if we want to truly create a vision that is effective. And being effective is how you define effectiveness. It's up to you to define how great it's going to be, how effective it's going to be, what solution it wants to solve. And so when you have a good perspective, it helps you to realize what opportunities to take and what opportunities to decline. It helps to shape your expectations. It helps you to know what you need and who you need. Many people we fall behind because our perspective causes us to take any opportunity that comes along our way. Because we haven't clearly defined our vision, we haven't clearly defined what we want to do, we take anything that comes our way. I remember there was a time when I was looking for a job, and even though I wanted to go into video production and media production, I because of the fact that none of those opportunities were opening up for me, rather than creating my own lane and creating my own products, creating my own videos, creating my own content, I decided to take a temp job being an apartment inspector. No interest in construction, no interest in the job at all. But because I needed a job and because my perspective was that, oh, other people aren't opening these doors for me, and so this is all I can do. So it put me in a position where I was waking up early. I was taking a bus and three trains to a job that I wasn't even interested in. Spending 8 hours of my day, look, actually 9 hours of my day, looking at empty apartments, looking at cracks and damage and what needs to be cleaned and what needs to be fixed, and sending it to a cleaning crew to come in to prepare it for the next person. Now, mind you, these are high-rise apartments in on 34th Street. But because my perspective was that no opportunity is opening up for me, instead of changing my perspective to, if no doors are opening up for me, I'm going to open up my own doors. I'm going to build my own doors. I'm going to create my own lane. I'm going to create my own process. Instead of doing that, I settled and wasted my time and my energy in a job that was not beneficial to me. So when you have a clear vision and you have a clear perspective, you'll know what opportunities to take and what opportunities to decline. Because not every opportunity is beneficial. Not every opportunity is there to help you. Some of these so-called opportunities are things that come to waste your time. And so now you're wasting your time, and now being in that, right? Now being a part of something that's wasting your time, that now is now reshaping your perspective and limiting you to be limited, or restraining you to be limited just to that. And so when you have a clear vision and a clear perspective, it helps you to say yes to the right opportunities and say no to the wrong ones. It helps you to say yes to the right people on your team. Who do I need on my team? A lot of times we settle for who's available. And sometimes who's available is not the right person for the job. Sometimes the person who is available isn't the person that you need to help take you to the next level. And it's not for you to think that, oh, I'm better than this person, or this person is not good enough. But sometimes you have the wrong people in the wrong spots. They may have the right intention. They may be supportive. They may be available and willing to help. But sometimes they're not the right person for the job. I have a friend who works in computer science, in computers, right? I'm not gonna hire the person to repair my broken fridge, because even though they may be available, even though they may be willing to help, they don't have the expertise. And so sometimes you need to know what you need and who you need so that you can bring the right people on your team. Many of us were stuck in going at things alone, trying to do things on our own, trying to build things on our own, or trying to build things with people who aren't the right people for the job. And so now it feels almost like you're dragging dead weight. And again, it's no disrespect to the people that are willing to help, but a tip for those that the people that are available that are willing to help. Sometimes you have to sit with them and find what their expertise is in and put them in those positions. Yes, I understand that you're available to you're available to help fix my fridge, but I need you to work on my computer. It's being able to take those who are willing and able and available and putting them in the right space and putting them in the right position, and then searching for the positions that are in need. So when you have a clearly defined vision and you have a clearly defined perspective, you know where to put people in the right positions. I can tell you countless numbers of stories of people who have been put in a position, especially when it comes to um starting up, right? When you're starting a new venture or starting a new business or a new idea, right? You're at a disadvantage where you feel like you've got to kind of grab pieces to help build because you're in the infant stage of building. And sometimes it's necessary when you're at that place of first building, but when you sit down and start to craft and start to define and start to refine, then you have to start moving parts. And so it's important to have the right perspective. It's important to have a clearly defined vision, because all of these things, they prevent you from losing money, they prevent you from losing time, they protect you from losing relationships. Because sometimes you hire someone or you bring someone on your team who is great and supportive and caring, but because they're not the right person for the job, they're not fulfilling the expectations that you have, and now it creates a rift. Now you're at a point of tension because the person that is helping you, that is willing to help you, they're in the wrong position and they're not meeting your expectations. And so now you're frustrated because your expectations are not met, and they're frustrated because they're trying to do something that they're not good at. And so now you have tension and it affects your relationship with that individual. But if we could just put that person in the right position, then now they can thrive and you can thrive and everyone is working together. These are some of the things that help help you to really be successful in any venture that you're starting. Whether it's a business, whether it's a nonprofit, whether it's a ministry, whether it's an organization, whatever it is that you're trying to build, these things are important. And so as the leader, you have to have a good vision, a clearly defined vision, so that you can be able to maximize on potential. When it comes to having perspective, it helps you to build the right team. It helps you to build the right team of the right people who are experts in what they do, and it helps you to build momentum. See, perspective, when you have the right perspective, let me go with the wrong perspective. When you have the wrong perspective, you become, you hold the team back. Sometimes you have people who are in leadership roles who because of the level of success they may see the person on their team having it, they start to attack them, or they start to try to sabotage them because they feel intimidated. Why? Because of their perspective, right? You have those who have the wrong perspective who will chase away good people because of the fact that they feel their perspective is wrong. Because they have the wrong perspective or they have the wrong idea, they chase away the people that they need to help build. That's something that happens. And then you have people who, when you have a good perspective, when you have the right perspective, and you put everyone in the right place, and everyone is clicking on all cylinders, then you build momentum, and then you're producing. So perspective is so key. A lot of people, they fail because their perspective is about competing. I'm trying to compete with you. And if I'm the person who started something, if I started this business, then why should I compete with you? Because you're more talented? That doesn't make any sense. See, a wise person finds someone who's smarter than them in a certain field, and recruits them to help. Because no one is great at everything. I may be great at teaching on leadership, but I'm not great at accounting. I may be great in doing media or in doing videos, but I'm not great in public speaking. We all know we all know the that we cannot be great at everything. And it's a myth, and it's a misunderstanding that people take on, that as the leader you have to be great at everything. You have to be great at everything that you're doing. You have to be have your hand in every part of the organization. But that's the quickest way to get burned out. That's the quickest way to tire yourself, trying to be involved in everything. That's why you recruit people. That's why you hire people who are experts, so that you can direct your focus on building the vision. What makes wealthy people so good at what they do, and makes them continuously build wealth, is because they hire smart people. Google, right? Google hires and looks for the top people in their field. Apple looks for the top people in the fields. You don't see Tim Cook trying to be in the research and development, be in the engineering, be in the building of the iPhones or the iPads. No, he has people on his team that are experts at that, and who can come and bring that information to him, and he can make a final decision. So it's all about perspective, having the right perspective. Listen, I don't got to be great at that. All I have to do is get the right person who is great at that, but who's also great at explaining to me, so that I can understand and make an informed decision. These are the things that we need. We have to get out of this lone wolf, lone ranger mindset, that I have to do everything, that I have to be all for everyone. I have to do everything in the company. I have to do everything in the business. You gotta you gotta have the right perspective, that, listen, all I gotta do, this is what I need. I need an accountant. I need a marketing someone who's expert at marketing. I need someone who's an expert at HR. And then you start to recruit the right people. When you have the right perspective, you're not trying to compete with everybody. You're not trying to be the greatest in the room. Some of the greatest leaders are the last ones who speak. They get everyone's perspective, they get everyone's ideas, they get everyone's thoughts, and then they share their thoughts and their ideas. It's all about perspective, and a lot of people are not successful because their perspective is incorrect. And at one of these conversations, I want to talk about um the struggling leaders that leaders have. So I want to talk about the insecure leader. I want to talk about the prideful leader. I want to talk about the um the imposter leader, the leader that has the imposter syndrome. I want to talk about the overly competitive leader. All of these things, because of the wrong perspective, brings more damage to the organization, brings more damage to the team than it helps. So it's all about having a clear and proper perspective. That's what will help you be successful. It is perspective that'll help you come from a poor neighborhood and become a wealthy billionaire. One thing that I like about Mark Cuban, he talks about it all the time, that he when he left Indiana, He had a broken down car with a hole in the floorboard, in the floor of the car, and he drove to Dallas because that's how far his car could reach. But because of the mindset that he had, he didn't allow that to prevent him from being the successful billionaire that he's become now. It's because of when you have that right perspective and you have that vision and you have your clearly defined goals. It pushes you to keep going regardless of the challenges, and it pushes you to make the right decisions. So what do you need to have a great perspective? Right? What do we need to develop a good perspective? To have a great perspective, what we need is to always remember the vision, to visualize. That's one of the reasons why I asked everyone to do the perfect day challenge. And I encourage you to take a day to just sit and write down so that you have it. What does the perfect day look like for you? Once you have that clearly defined vision, you'll always go back to it. When you're facing challenges, when you're faced with opportunities, when you're faced with making a decision, you have to go back to the vision. You have to go back and visualize. How does this fit in my perfect day? How does this fit in my end goal? How does this fit in what I want to accomplish? Right? When you go back to the vision, then it allows you to make the proper decisions. So you have to visualize. You have to write it down. Write your vision down. Write your goals down. One of the things that I did last year in 2020 is I tried to write down. I saw a video with Steve Harvey, and he was talking about writing your vision. And he said for you to write down 300 goals, 300 ideas, 300 things that fit into your vision. And I started writing it last year. It's been a challenge, but I've written down so far 225 different ideas that are part of my overall vision and my overall goal. And so whenever I am faced with the opportunity, whenever I have a challenge, right, I go right back to it. When there's an opportunity that presents itself or a decision that I need to make. And sometimes the decision that I have to make is you have to make is, do I want to give up? Is this really what I want to do? We face those times where we just feel like I don't want to do this anymore. You feel like I just want to give up. And in that you have to make a decision. Do I continue or do I do something else? And so when you are faced with those times of those challenges and those low days, you have to go back to it, and you have to ask yourself, does this decision fit my overall goals? Well, and I'm telling you, like, my goals are extensive, right? It's not just about, like, I have build KeenVision leadership, which I'm currently in the process of doing, but I have a lot of stuff like attend the TED Talk, learn how to fence, build a trust fund for my children, learn to play guitar, you know, um, ride a private jet, learn how to cook, learn how to bake, um, start a scholarship fund, take my family on a vacation. All of these things are a part of my overall vision and my overall goal. And so when I'm looking at them, when I'm faced with a decision of what I need to do and what I don't need to do, um, I go back to this. How does this idea fit into my overall goal, into my overall vision? How does it fit in where what I want to accomplish? Right? So when you have those things, it keeps your perspective. It keeps your perspective proper. So to have a good perspective, I'm talking about all visualizing your vision, always going back to the vision, always going back to the goal always going back to it and seeing how the decision that you need to make falls into that. So you need to look at the bigger picture and the overall vision. You have to have discernment. You have to be able to discern what's good and what's not good for you. Because a lot of opportunities present itself as great opportunities. And then what in secret it's really a a hindrance, or it's something that's putting your place to be a distraction. It is possible that an opportunity can be a distraction. You get an opportunity to do one thing and it becomes a distraction, right? And you end up being stuck with something that you didn't really want because you thought at on the surface level it was a good idea. And so you need that discernment. You need to be able to discern what's a good idea, what's a bad idea, what's good for you, what's not good for you. Because sometimes good ideas are just not good for you. It's just not good for what you want to accomplish. It's just not good for your vision. So you need to have discernment. Then you need to have trustworthy people around you, confidants, right? That'll be able to help you really see things from a different angle. Because sometimes our emotions get in the way, and our emotions will cloud our judgment, and the emotions will cause us to view things from a different perspective. And so sometimes you have to get people, the right people around you, to help you say, listen, to tell you, listen, this is not a great idea, or I know you're excited about this, but I don't think you should go after it, or here's why, here are the pros and here are the cons of why you should and shouldn't be doing this. We are emotional people. It's a part of our nature. And so sometimes your emotions will mess up your perspective and will set you on the wrong path. So who can I turn to? Who can I confidently talk to give me a new perspective, to give me a new idea? I'm so grateful for my wife, because that's the person that I have. Well, one that's the person that I have that helps me to have the right perspective. Sometimes I feel like, listen, I need to just go and do this, and she'll say, "But if you do that, look at it this way." And there's sometimes she'll say things to me, and it makes me grip my teeth. It makes me grip my teeth, and I don't want to hear it, but I need to hear it. And when I go back and I reflect and I think about what she has shared and what she tells me, it makes me it prevents me from making a bad decision. Because sometimes and let's keep it real, sometimes life will throw some curveballs at you that make you want to just do some crazy things. Sometimes people will say and do some things that'll make you just want to get out of character. It'll make you get out of pocket. And when you have someone who is able to give you a different perspective, and especially in this social media age, in this digital age where we're constantly trying to interpret things like text message and things like Facebook messages and statuses and tweets, right? It's so easy to misinterpret a tweet or misinterpret a text. And sometimes you need someone that's with you, that you trust, that has your best interest at hand, that will say, listen, I think you're looking at it the wrong way. I think you're misinterpreting this text, or you're misinterpreting this tweet, or you're misinterpreting this email. How many of us have had those times where someone has sent us an email and we're like, listen, this person can get the hands. This person can catch the fade. This person can this person, when I see them, is on site. There's sometimes you get those emails from your coworkers or from your manager where it's just like, listen, if I could reach through this device and grab your neck, I would. And then someone who you trust, who has your best interest at heart, will say, listen, don't send that response, don't send that reply, don't answer, don't respond to them in that way. Maybe you need to edit the tone. I remember there was an instance where my wife's manager got on right per my last email. You want to just go in, and I remember there's an instance when my wife's manager sent her an email, and she wrote out a whole response, and she said, "Babe, can you look at this because I don't want I don't want to say the wrong thing." And I had to look at it and I go, "Oh, maybe you should take this line out." Word, Danny, a virtual chokehold. For real, people will do these things to you. And she wrote out a whole email, and I looked at it, and she was like, just look at it for me to make sure that I'm not sending the wrong message, that my response is not too bad. And I had to go through it and say, all right, maybe you need to edit this. Maybe you should change this line to say this. And sometimes she would get on me and say, "Oh, my response is too soft or it's too passive." But sometimes you have to steer the person in the right direction, because had she sent an email, it would have been It would have been a bigger problem than it should have been. It would have escalated. It would have threw gasoline on the fire rather than throwing water and putting it out. So sometimes you have to have someone around you that's trustworthy, who even though they may say something that you don't like, you know that they're saying it with the best of intentions, and you take it in, and it prevents you from throwing fire on that gas. I mean, throwing gas on that fire. Sorry. So in order to have a good perspective, we're talking about you have to have one, right? Remember the vision, visualize the vision, have see the bigger picture. Two, you have to have discernment. What is the right opportunities? What is the wrong opportunities? Three, you have to have the confidant, someone who's trustworthy, that will talk you off the cliff, that will prevent you from throwing gas on that fire, that will prevent you from going crazy, that will prevent you from sending that email. And then another thing about having a great perspective, you got to know your triggers. What are the things that set you off? Because when you know the things that set you off, and you know the things that will alter your perspective, then mentally, emotionally, physically, you can put things in place, to boundaries in place, to make sure you don't cross a certain line. So we have to know what triggers us, what sets you off, what is your pet peeve, what makes you angry, what makes you upset, what makes you discouraged, what makes you disappointed. And then once you figure those things out, now you put systems in place that when I feel this way, rather than responding or behaving in this manner, I'm gonna respond and behave in this manner, because I recognize and identify that these are the triggers that are going to change my perspective. So, what are the things? What are the systems that you're going to put into place that prevent you from going to jail? That will prevent you from sending that email. That will prevent you from giving up on your dream. That will prevent you from giving up on your hope. What are the systems that you have in place? On those low moments, those low days, who do you talk to? What do you do to replenish your soul? What I know for me, when I'm having a really bad day or a really low day, I try to do something that I enjoy, something that'll take my mind away for a moment so that I can clear my thoughts. Whether it's going out for a walk, or playing my video game, or watching a movie, or watching a show, or spending time with my family, right? We all come up against these challenges and these things that will trigger us. And when you have the right systems in place, it keeps your perspective whole, and it keeps your perspective right. So all of these things are important when we're trying to build our vision. When you have the right perspective, when you have the right perspective, then you know what to do. You know what you need to make sure that the vision comes to pass. Because ultimately, you're setting the vision, and the vision sets your end goal, and you're working backwards towards it. And so, in order to properly be effective effective, in order to properly be to maximize your potential, in order to effectively, make the right decisions that are going to better you, that's going to add value to others, that's going to add value to what you're trying to build. We have to have the right perspective. There's a graphic that I saw one time that was really hit the nail on the head, and it was two people standing on either side. One person on a boat, one person on an island. And the person that's on the boat, that's stranded on the boat, was excited about seeing the island. And the person that was stranded on the island was excited about seeing the boat. Good night, Sister Angela. How are you? And so the two of them, they had the different perspectives. And so one was upset. One was happy about the boat that was coming. The other one was excited about the island that was coming. When you have the right perspective, it makes you happier. Let's just keep it real. Sometimes when you have the right perspective, it keeps you in that happy place, because you don't feel you feel like you're going somewhere. You feel like you're accomplishing something. And sometimes it just takes a small win. It takes the small things to help you keep you motivated, to keep you driven. And so you have to have the right perspective in order to accomplish it. And so I want us to keep those things in mind. I want us to keep those things in the forefront of our mind. How does our perspective affect our vision? How does your perspective affect your vision? How does it affect where you're trying to go, what you're trying to accomplish? Because the right perspective will see an opportunity where there's a challenge. The right perspective will see the good in the bad. Some people have been super successful during this pandemic, right? And I heard an example that someone shared that was so enlightening, right? That in the time of a pandemic, you have those who uh saw it as a bad thing, and saw it as a terrible thing that hit them, and it caused them to lose on opportunities. But you see people like Elon Musk, who catapulted it to becoming the richest man in the world during a pandemic. Think about that. During a time where unemployment is at its peak, where people are losing their jobs, people are depending on their stimulus checks, you have Elon Musk catapulting himself to becoming the richest man in the world. You have, I believe, they said something along the lines like he made 85 million dollars during this pandemic. Why? Because he saw an opportunity in the midst of a challenge. He saw an opportunity where everyone saw danger. He saw opportunity to boost his company, to launch out into new ventures, rather than just allowing himself to be locked up or quarantined. And so when you have the right perspective, it allows you to find opportunity in the middle of a challenge, in the middle of a pandemic. So many of us have started our business ideas. So many of us have started things that we wouldn't have normally done. I'm so proud to see so many of my friends. They're doing their business. They're launching their business ideas. They're doing their Facebook Live videos. They're doing their Instagram Live videos. They're putting out content. Even myself, who has had a fear and had a struggle with coming up with finding the time, one, to do it, but actually believing that I was able to do it, right? Many people took it as an opportunity that now, because we're home in a pandemic, now let's catapult these ideas. Let's bring these ideas into reality. Let's do the things that are uncomfortable. Let's do the things that we didn't have time to do. Let's do the things that seemed hard to do, but now We got to do it. See, when you have the right perspective, you will catapult and start things, start the business idea, start the business plan, start the investments that you didn't look into before, that you didn't start before. You will see the opportunity in the midst of those challenges. So it's important that we have the right perspective so that we can work towards our vision. And so I want to leave that with us tonight. I want us to think about it this week. What is your perspective? You're at a job that you don't like, because I've been there, being in a job that I didn't like, and it took a conversation with my wife to change my whole perspective on it. I worked 8 years as a college advisor, advising college students on classes to take, on what careers they should pursue, their career explorations. And it took after a while it became draining because it wasn't something that I was passionate about anymore. And it took a conversation with my wife to change my perspective, to help me realize that during that time that I'm meeting with students, I'm actually coaching. I'm actually giving them the leadership um, skills and ideas that I've been building on. So even though it at the time felt like a job that was just absorbing all my time and all of my energy and was draining me, my perspective changed now to see it as an opportunity to build my coaching skills, to build my leadership development skills, to build on my one-to-one interactions with someone who has a vision, because all of my college students have a vision of where they want to what they want to accomplish. They have an idea. They want to be an occupational therapist, they want to be a physical therapist, they want to be a veterinarian, um they want to be a judge. They want to do all these things. They have a vision, and my job for those 8 years was helping them to build out their vision. So now, hearing that changed my perspective and gave me the confidence to now launch out and get KeenVision leadership going. So think about it this week. What is the perspective that you have? How are you visualizing things? How are you seeing the world, your world? And if you don't like it, if your perspective, how do now change what is around me so that it fits my vision and gives me a positive perspective? It's important to understand that when we do those things, these are the foundational pieces that we need to build a successful vision. So think about that this week. Think about sorry about that. I lost connection. But just to wrap up, I want us to think about these things. I want us to think about our perspective and our vision and come up with a plan, come up with a process. How do we get it aligned? How do we get the two of them aligned? How do we get them together? How do we get them to function, to go hand in hand? And start to write down your vision, write down your goals, write down your ideas, and begin to reshape and replan and redefine those goals. So I hope it was helpful. Like I said, we're visionaries, we're changing the game. And so if it's something that you're interested, again, you can get your hoodie, you can get it on the site below. And listen, we're all here to build one another. We're all here to build up a team, to work as a team to build our overall goals and our vision. So we're working together. This is what Keen Vision Leadership is all about, helping people to recognize the leaders that they are and the skills and that they have the skills and the capabilities to be visionaries, to be game changers. So feel free to order your hoodie. Listen, like I said, springtime is coming up. I just found out from my son's teacher that spring is the first day of spring is in 2 weeks. So feel free to get your hoodie. You don't want to wear your jacket. This nice, comfortable hoodie. Let the world know that you're a visionary, that you're a game changer, and let it serve as a reminder of to yourself. And let this week be a week that's going to be productive, a week that's going to help you to change your game, that's going to help you to reshape and redefine your vision. So I hope you were encouraged. I hope this was helpful. I'm looking forward. Like I said, this is going to be a series that's going to eventually build to a masterclass on vision building. So I'm excited because I'm laying down the foundation for so that we can start working towards you can start working towards building out your vision and building out your idea. So let this week be a week that's going to be, I hope it's a week that's going to be productive. I hope it'll be a week that'll be that God will bless you and make you a blessing. And I hope you have a good night. Thank you all for tuning in. I appreciate it. And I hope you have a good night. See you next week for our next session. All right. Have a good one. Take care and be blessed. God bless you, everyone.